The glass walls of the massive conference room in Gangnam overlooked the entire city of Seoul, but Adanna couldn't admire the view. Her stomach felt like it was full of broken glass. She smoothed the skirt of her black power suit for the 10th time, checking her reflection in the darkened window. She looked perfect, professional, cold. A top-tier attorney from New York sent to close the biggest merger of the decade, but her hands were shaking. She gripped her leather portfolio tight, her knuckles turning white. "Pull it together, Adanna," she whispered to herself. "You are a shark, you don't bleed." The double doors at the end of the hall burst open. The sound of heavy footsteps echoed against the marble floor. A group of men in dark suits marched in, moving like a pack of wolves. And in the center of them, leading the pack, was him, Woo-jin. Adanna's breath hitched in her throat. It had been 6 months, but he looked exactly the same. No, he looked better, dangerous. He wore a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her student loans, tailored to fit his broad shoulders perfectly. His black hair was styled back, revealing that sharp, cruel jawline she had traced with her fingertips 1,000 times. He was talking to an older man beside him, his face hard and serious. He didn't look like the man who had laughed with her on the beach in Maui. He didn't look like the man who had whispered promises against her skin while the ocean crashed outside their window. He looked like a king, a monster, the heir to the empire. Adanna stepped forward, forcing a smile onto her face. This was it. She was the lead counsel. He had to acknowledge her. He had to stop. "Mr. she said, her voice steady, though her heart was hammering against her ribs like a trapped bird. She extended her hand. "It's good to see you again." Woo-jin didn't even blink. He didn't break his stride. He looked right through her, his cold, dark eyes sweeping over her face as if she were a piece of furniture. As if she were invisible. He walked past her like she was nothing. The air rushed out of the room. Adanna stood there, her hand still extended in the air, frozen. The men following him smirked, sidestepping her as they rushed to keep up with their boss. The scent of his cologne, sandalwood and expensive tobacco, hit her like a physical blow, bringing back a rush of memories she had tried to drown in work and wine. He didn't stop. He didn't look back. He just kept walking, leaving her standing alone in the middle of the hallway with her humiliation burning her cheeks red. Pause. Listen to me very closely. I know you felt that sting. I know you felt Adanna's heart crack right down the middle. Before we see what she does next, I need you to do something for me. First, tell me in the comments, where are you watching this from? Are you safe in your bed or hiding in the break room at work? Second, on a scale of 1-10, how much do you want to slap Woo-jin right now? Be honest. And finally, you need to hit that subscribe button for Timeless K-Love right now. Do it. If you don't subscribe, you're basically leaving Adanna alone in that hallway to be eaten alive by these sharks. She has no one else in this city. Don't let her face this monster alone. Click the button. Okay, let's get back to the mess. Adanna lowered her hand slowly. Her fingers curled into a fist at her side. Shame was hot and prickly, crawling up her neck. She could feel the eyes of the receptionists and the junior associates on her. They were whispering. "Did you see that? The crown prince didn't even look at her. I thought she was the lead attorney from the States. Maybe she's nobody." Adanna bit the inside of her cheek until she tasted the metallic tang of blood. Nobody. Is that what she was? 2 weeks. They had spent 2 weeks together in Hawaii. It wasn't just sex. It couldn't have been just sex. They had talked until sunrise. He had told her about the pressure of his family, the darkness of his father's business. She had told him about her struggle to make it in a world that wanted to keep her down. She remembered the way he looked at her then, like she was the only water in a desert. "Adanna!" She snapped her head up. David, her boss, was standing by the conference room door, looking impatient. He was a short, angry man who only cared about the bottom line. "Are you coming?" David snapped. "Meeting is starting. Try not to look so starstruck. It's embarrassing." "I'm not starstruck," Adanna hissed, the anger finally burning through the shock. She adjusted her glasses and walked past him, her heels clicking sharply on the floor. "I'm ready." She wasn't ready. She walked into the boardroom and took her seat at the long mahogany table. The room was freezing. On the other side sat the executives of the group, and in the center seat, the throne, sat Woo-jin. He was reading a file, looking bored. Beside him sat a woman who made Adanna feel like she was wearing a trash bag. The woman was stunning, pale skin, perfect makeup, wearing a white designer dress that looked like a wedding gown cut into a business suit. She had her hand resting possessively on Woo-jin's arm. Minjai, the fiancée, the daughter of a rival tech giant, the perfect match. Adanna opened her laptop, her fingers stiff. Focus on the merger, she told herself. Just focus on the numbers. "Let's begin," Woo-jin said. His voice was deep, rough, sending a shiver down Adanna's spine. He still hadn't looked at her. David stood up, clearing his throat. "Thank you for having us, Mr. I.M. We represent the acquisition team for the merger. We believe—" "I don't care what you believe," Woo-jin interrupted. He tossed the file onto the table. It slid across the polished wood and stopped right in front of Adanna. "The terms are garbage," Woo-jin said, leaning back in his chair. He looked at David, then his eyes flickered. For 1 second, just one terrifying second, his gaze locked onto Adanna. It wasn't a look of love. It was a look of pure, cold hatred. "If you want this deal," Woo-jin said, his voice low and dangerous, "you're going to have to work for it. My legal team has found 17 holes in your proposal." 17, David sputtered. "That's impossible. My lead attorney, Ms. Oak, is the best in New York." Woo-jin smirked. It was a cruel, twisted thing. "Is she?" He looked at Adanna again. This time he didn't look away. "Then let's hear it, Ms. Oak. Defend your garbage work or get out of my building." Adanna felt the trap snap shut. He knew exactly who she was. He wasn't ignoring her because he forgot her. He was ignoring her because he wanted to break her. She stood up. Her legs felt weak, but she locked her knees. She looked at the file, then at him. "It's not garbage," Adanna said, her voice ringing clear in the silent room. "And I don't make mistakes." Woo-jin raised an eyebrow. The woman beside him, Minjai, let out a soft, mocking laugh. "Cute," Minjai whispered, loud enough for everyone to hear. "She thinks she can talk back to you, darling." Woo-jin didn't laugh. He stared at Adanna like he was dissecting a frog. "Prove it," he said. "You have 5 minutes. Convince me not to fire your entire firm and ruin your reputation forever." Adanna's heart pounded. This was it. The career she had built for 10 years was on the line. And the man holding the axe was the same man she had fallen in love with under the stars. "Fine," Adanna said. She opened the file. "But I don't need 5 minutes, I only need 2. She started to speak, citing clauses and precedents, her lawyer brain taking over. She was good at this. She was the best. She saw the other executives nodding. She saw David relaxing, but Woo-jin just watched her. He watched her mouth moving, his eyes dark and hungry. He wasn't listening to a word she said. He was studying her, and Adanna realized with a sick feeling in her stomach that this wasn't about the merger at all. This was punishment. When she finished, there was silence. "Well," David asked, looking at Woo-jin. Woo-jin stood up slowly. He buttoned his jacket. "It's adequate," he said, dismissing her brilliant argument with a wave of his hand. "But I'm not satisfied. The merger is on hold." "On hold," David shouted. "For how long?" "Until I say so," Woo-jin said. He turned to leave, but then he stopped. He looked over his shoulder at Adanna. "Ms. Oak will stay behind. We have details to discuss, alone." Minjai's smile dropped. "Woo-jin, we have lunch reservations." "Cancel them," Woo-jin said coldly. "Get out, all of you." The room cleared out fast. No one wanted to be around when the crown prince was in a mood. David gave Adanna a look that said, "Fix this or you're fired," and hurried out. Minjai shot Adanna a look of pure venom before gathering her purse and stomping out, slamming the door behind her. Suddenly, they were alone. The silence was heavy, suffocating. Adanna stood by her chair, gripping the edge of the table. Woo-jin stood at the head of the table, his back to her, looking out the window again. "Why are you doing this?" Adanna asked. Her voice was quiet, trembling. Woo-jin turned around. The mask was gone. The professional indifference was replaced by a simmering rage that made the air feel hot. "Doing what?" he asked, walking slowly toward her. "Pretending you don't know me," Adanna said. "Humiliating me in front of my boss, in front of your fiancé." He stopped right in front of her. He was so close she could feel the heat radiating off his body. He towered over her, blocking out the light. "You left," he said. His voice was a growl. "What?" Adanna blinked. "Hawaii," he said. 6 months ago. I woke up and the bed was empty. No note, no number, just gone. "I had to catch a flight," Adanna said, her voice rising. "I told you I had to go back to work. I'm not a billionaire, Woo-jin. I can't just stay on vacation forever." "You ran," he accused. He reached out and trapped her, placing his hands on the table on either side of her, leaning in until their noses were almost touching. "You ran away from me." "It was a vacation fling," Adanna shouted, pushing against his chest. It was like pushing a brick wall. "It wasn't real life." "It was real to me," Woo-jin whispered. The raw pain in his voice stopped her. He looked at her lips, then up into her eyes. "I looked for you, do you know that? I looked for you for weeks, and then I found out you were coming here, to my city, to ask for my money." "I didn't know it was you," Adanna said. "I didn't know you were I am Woo-jin. You said your name was Jin." "Details," he muttered. "It's not a detail." "You're the heir to a mafia empire disguised as a corporation," Adanna yelled. "And you're engaged." Woo-jin flinched. He pulled back slightly. That engagement is business. It means nothing. It looked pretty real when she was touching you, Adanna spat. Woo-jin's jaw tightened. You don't know anything about my world, Adanna, but you're going to learn because you're not leaving Seoul until I get what I want. And what is that? Adanna asked, lifting her chin defiantly. You want to fire me? Go ahead. I don't care, Woo-jin laughed. It was a dark, dry sound. Fire you? No, that's too easy. He reached out and tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear. His touch was electric, burning her skin. Adanna shivered, hating herself for it. You owe me, Adanna, he whispered. You stole 2 weeks of my life and then threw them away. Now I'm going to take them back. I'm here for the merger, Adanna said weakly. Forget the merger, Woo-jin said. You work for me now, personally. I can't. If you refuse, he interrupted, his voice turning hard as stone, I will destroy your firm, I will make sure David fires you, and I will blacklist you from every major corporation in the world. You will never practice law again. You'll be lucky to get a job serving coffee. Tears pricked Adanna's eyes. You can't do that. I can do anything, he said simply. I am the king of this city. He stepped back, adjusting his cuffs. Be at my penthouse tonight, 8:00 p.m. Don't be late. Your penthouse? Adanna asked, horrified. Woo-jin, I'm not your whore. He looked at her, his eyes unreadable. No, you're something much more complicated. Now get out. Adanna grabbed her bag and fled. She ran out of the conference room, past the staring secretaries, and into the elevator. Only when the doors closed did she let the first sob escape. She leaned against the metal wall, sliding down to the floor. She was trapped. Trapped in a foreign city with a man who hated her, a man who had the power to ruin her life with a snap of his fingers. And the worst part, when he touched her hair for a split second, she didn't want him to stop. The taxi ride back to her hotel was a blur of neon lights and rain. Seoul was beautiful, but tonight it looked like a prison. Adanna sat in her hotel room, staring at the clock. 7:30 p.m. She had changed her outfit 3 times. Why did she care? She should wear a sack. She should wear her pajamas. But her hands moved on their own, pulling out a simple navy dress that hugged her curves. It was modest, but the zipper in the back went down just a little too low. Why am I doing this? She thought. I should call the embassy. I should quit. But she couldn't. Her family back home was counting on her success. Her little sister's tuition. Her mother's medical bills. If she lost this job, she lost everything. Woo-jin knew that. He must have investigated her. He knew exactly where to apply the pressure. She grabbed her coat and walked out the door. The dress he gave her was in Hanam-dong, the most expensive neighborhood in Korea. The taxi driver looked at her in the rearview mirror with wide eyes when she gave him the destination. UN Village, he asked. Big money. Yeah, Adanna muttered. Big money. The building was a fortress. Security guards with earpieces checked her ID before letting her into a private elevator that only had one button. Penthouse. The elevator rose smoothly, silently. Her heart beat a frantic rhythm against her ribs. Thump, 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 thump. The doors opened directly into the living room. It was massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of the Han River. The furniture was sleek, modern, and black. Everything was black or gray. It was cold, lonely. You're on time, a voice said from the shadows. Adanna jumped. Woo-jin was standing by the window, holding a glass of amber liquid. He had taken off his jacket and tie. His white shirt was unbuttoned at the top, revealing the strong column of his throat. He looked tired. I didn't have a choice, Adanna said, walking into the room. She kept her distance. There is always a choice, Woo-jin said. He took a sip of his drink. Drink. No, Adanna said. I want to know what the terms are. You said I work for you personally. What does that mean? Am I reviewing contracts, drafting NDAs? Woo-jin turned to face her. Set the glass down on a side table with a sharp clink. No contracts, he said. I have 1,000 lawyers for that. Then what? I need a shield, he said. A shield. My father is dying, Woo-jin said. The words hung in the air, heavy and unexpected. Adanna's eyes widened. I didn't know, she whispered. No one knows, Woo-jin said. If the shareholders find out, the stock will tank, the vultures will circle. My stepmother is already trying to position her son, my half-brother, to take over. He walked closer to her. And then there is Minjai, the engagement. The perfect match, Adanna said bitterly. A political alliance, Woo-jin corrected. Her father wants access to my shipping routes. My father wants her father's tech patents. It's a trade. I am the currency. He stopped a few feet away from her. He looked vulnerable for a second, just a split second, before the walls slammed back up. I can't trust anyone, Adanna, not my family, not my fiancé, not my staff. But you trust me, Adanna asked, incredulous. You just threatened to ruin my life. I trust you because you don't want anything from me, Woo-jin said. You didn't know who I was, you liked me. For me, that is rare. He took another step. I need you to be my personal legal consultant for the next 2 weeks. You will be by my side every day. You will sit in on every meeting. You will watch the people around me and tell me who is lying. You want me to be a human lie detector. I want you to be my eyes, Woo-jin said. And in exchange, I will sign your merger on your terms, no questions asked. Adanna's breath caught. It was the deal of a lifetime. She could go back to New York a hero. But there's a catch, Woo-jin added softly. There's always a catch, Adanna whispered. Minjai is suspicious, he said. She thinks I'm cheating. If she suspects I have feelings for you, she will destroy you. She can be very creative with her cruelty. So I have to hide. No, Woo-jin said. Eyes darkened. You have to hide in plain sight. We have to pretend we hate each other, just like today in the conference room. Cold, professional, distant. I can do that, Adanna said. I already hate you a little bit. Woo-jin smirked. Good, hold on to that hate, you'll need it. He walked past her, his arm brushing against hers. Because when the doors are closed, when we are alone in here. He leaned down, his lips brushing her ear. I don't think I can promise to be professional, Adanna. I've been starving for 6 months. Adanna's knees buckled. Go to the guest room, he ordered, pulling away abruptly. Get some sleep. Tomorrow the war begins. Adanna watched him walk down the dark hallway to his own room. She touched her ear where his breath still lingered. She was in so much trouble. She found the guest room. It was luxurious with silk sheets and a view of the city. But she couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, the image of Woo-jin's dark eyes burning into her mind. Does he love me? She wondered, or is he just using me to save his empire? Around 2:00 a.m., she heard a noise, a crash. It came from the living room. Adanna sat up. Woo-jin! Silence. She got out of bed, creeping toward the door. She opened it a crack. The living room was dark, but she saw a shadow moving near the entrance. It wasn't Woo-jin. The figure was dressed in black, wearing a ski mask. They were rifling through a drawer, Woo-jin's private desk. Adanna's heart stopped. An intruder. An assassin. She looked around for a weapon, a heavy vase on the console table. She grabbed it, her hands shaking. She should scream. She should run back to the bedroom and lock the door. But then she saw the intruder pull out a gun. They were moving toward the hallway, toward Woo-jin's room. No, Adanna didn't think. She moved. She stepped out into the hallway, raising the vase. Hey! She screamed. The figure spun around, the gun raising toward her. Bang! The shot rang out. Adanna flinched, squeezing her eyes shut, waiting for the burn of a bullet. But the pain never came. Instead, she heard a wet, heavy thud, like a sack of flour hitting the floor. Adanna opened her eyes slowly. The man in the ski mask was on the ground. He wasn't moving. A dark pool of blood was already spreading from under his head, staining the expensive gray rug. She looked up. Woo-jin stood in the doorway of his bedroom. He was wearing nothing but black sweatpants. His chest was bare, slick with a thin sheen of sweat, and he held a silver handgun with steady hands. The barrel was still smoking. He didn't look scared. He looked annoyed. I told you, Woo-jin said, his voice calm and terrifyingly cold, to stay in your room. Adanna's fingers lost their grip. The heavy vase crashed to the floor, shattering into a million pieces next to the dead man. I thought. Adanna couldn't breathe. The air smelled sharp and metallic, gunpowder and blood. Woo-jin walked over to the body. He didn't check for a pulse. He stepped over the dead man like he was a pile of dirty laundry and walked straight to Adanna. He grabbed her shoulders. His grip was hard, bruising. Are you hit? Did he touch you? No, Adanna whispered. She was shaking so violently her teeth chattered. He was going to your room. He had a gun. I saw him, Woo-jin said. He tucked his gun into the waistband of his pants. I was waiting for him to step into the light. But then you came out screaming with a flower vase. He looked deep into her eyes. His pupils were blown wide. You foolish woman, you could have been killed. I was trying to help. Adanna yelled, the shock turning into a sudden burst of anger. She pushed against his bare chest. A man just died. He's dead on your rug, and you're yelling at me. Woo-jin looked at the body, then back at her. He's not a man, Adanna. He's a message from my family. He pulled his phone out of his pocket and dialed a number. It's done. Bring the cleaning crew and get a new rug, same color. He hung up and looked at Adanna. She was staring at the blood, her face pale green. Come here, Woo-jin said, his voice softening just a fraction. He reached out for her. Don't touch me, Adanna said, backing away. You just killed him. It was him or me, Woo-jin said simply. And if he had seen you, it would have been him or you. Do you want to be dead, Adanna? Is that what you want? I want to go home, she sobbed. You can't, Woo-jin said. He stepped forward and scooped her up into his arms. She was too shocked to fight him. He carried her away from the blood, away from the death, walking toward the kitchen. You're in this now, deep. Pause, look at me. Did you see that? One shot. One kill. Woo-jin didn't even blink. I need to know, where are you watching this from right now? Are you safe under your covers or are you looking over your shoulder? And tell me the truth, on a scale of 1-10, how scared are you for Adanna right now? Because I'm at a solid 10. Listen to me. You have to hit that subscribe button for Timeless K-Love right now. If you don't, you're letting Adanna face this nightmare alone. She just watched a man die. She's trapped in a penthouse with a killer. If you scroll past without subscribing, you're basically locking the door and throwing away the key. Don't do that to her. Hit the button. Join the family. Okay, back to the nightmare. Woo-jin set her down on the marble island in the kitchen. The lights were bright here. It felt safer. He turned on the tap and filled a glass with water. Drink, he ordered. Adanna took the glass. Her hands shook so much the water splashed onto her dress. She took a sip. It was cold. It helped. Who was he? She asked. Her voice sounded small in the massive room. A hired gun, Woo-jin said. He leaned against the counter, crossing his arms. The muscles in his chest shifted under the light. My stepmother, Mrs. Kang, has grown impatient. My father is holding on longer than she expected. She wants me out of the way so her son, Min-ho, can take the throne. So she sent someone to kill you? Adanna asked. Her own stepson. She would burn this whole city down if it meant Min-ho could be king, Woo-jin said. He looked tired. The adrenaline was fading, leaving him looking weary and old. And you want me to work in the middle of this? Adanna asked. I'm a lawyer, Woo-jin. I write contracts, I don't dodge bullets. I can protect you, Woo-jin said. You almost got shot tonight. Almost, he corrected, but I didn't because I am always ready. He moved closer to her. He placed his hands on the counter on either side of her hips, trapping her legs. Why did you come out of your room, Adanna? He asked softly. I told you, she said, looking down at his chest. There was a scar there, a jagged white line near his ribs. I heard a noise. Most people would hide, Woo-jin said. He put a finger under her chin and forced her to look at him. Most people would lock the door and pray, but you grabbed a vase and ran into the fire. His eyes searched hers. They were dark, endless pools of night. You tried to save me, he whispered. I didn't want you to die, Adanna admitted. Why? He asked. You hate me, remember? I do hate you, Adanna said, but her voice lacked heat. Good, Woo-jin said. He leaned in. His face was inches from hers. She could smell the soap on his skin, mixed with the sharp scent of gunpowder. It was intoxicating. Keep hating me, it will keep you safe. He stared at her lips. Adanna stopped breathing. She wanted him to kiss her. God help her, after everything that just happened, she wanted him to kiss her so bad it hurt. The danger acted like a drug, making everything sharper, hotter. Woo-jin closed his eyes for a second, fighting for control. Then he pulled back abruptly. Go to sleep, he said roughly. The cleaners will be here soon. You don't want to see what they do. He turned his back on her. We leave for the office at 7:00 a.m. Be ready. Adanna didn't sleep. She lay in the guest bed, listening to the muffled sounds of men moving furniture in the living room. The smell of bleach seeped under her door. When her alarm went off at 6:00 a.m., she felt like a zombie. She showered and wrapped herself in a robe. When she opened her door, she gasped. Living room was perfect. The rug was new. The vase was gone. The air smelled like fresh lilies and lemon. There was no blood, no sign that a man had died there 4 hours ago. It was terrifying. Good morning, Woo-jin said. He was sitting at the dining table, reading a newspaper and drinking black coffee. He was dressed in a navy blue three-piece suit. He looked impeccable, not a hair out of place. Here, he said, pointing to a black box on the table. For you. Adanna walked over and opened the box. Inside was a suit. It was a cream-colored skirt suit, tailored and sharp. It looked expensive, very expensive. My clothes are fine, Adanna said. Your clothes are from a department store in New York, Woo-jin said without looking up. In this building, clothes are armor. If you want them to respect you, you have to look like you own them. I don't want to own them, Adanna muttered. I just want to survive them. Same thing, Woo-jin said. Put it on, we are late. Adanna changed. Suit fit like a second skin. It made her stand taller. She looked in the mirror and saw a different woman, a woman who belonged in this tower of glass and secrets. They took the private elevator down to the garage. A driver opened the door of a black sedan. Woo-jin slid in and Adanna followed. Remember the plan, Woo-jin said as the car pulled into the chaotic Seoul traffic. We are enemies. You are the stubborn American lawyer I am forced to tolerate. I am the arrogant chaebol heir you can't stand. That won't be hard to act, Adanna said. Woo-jin smirked. I know. Who are we meeting today? Adanna asked, opening her portfolio. The board of directors, Woo-jin said. And my brother Min-ho. Adanna froze. The one whose mother tried to kill you. The very one, Woo-jin said. Watch him, Adanna. Minho is charming, he is kind, everyone loves him, but he is a snake. I need you to see where the venom is hidden. The IM Group headquarters was a city within a city. The lobby was vast, with marble floors and high ceilings. When Woo-jin walked in, the entire room seemed to hold its breath. Security guards bowed. Receptionists stood up straight. Adanna walked a step behind him, keeping her face blank. She could feel the stares. Who is she? Why is she with him? They got into the executive elevator. When the doors opened on the top floor, a young man was waiting for them. He was handsome. Softer than Woo-jin, with a smile that lit up his eyes. He wore a light gray suit and had a friendly, boyish energy. "Hi, young," the man said, beaming. He opened his arms for a hug. Woo-jin didn't hug him, he just nodded. "Minho." Minho didn't seem bothered by the cold greeting. He turned to Adanna, his eyes widened. "And who is this beautiful guest?" Minho asked. He took Adanna's hand and bowed over it, not quite kissing it, but close. "This is Ms. Oak," Woo-jin said sharply. "She is the external counsel for the merger. She will be auditing our files for the next 2 weeks. "Auditing?" Minho laughed. "Hyung, you make it sound so serious. Welcome, Ms. Oak. I'm Minho. If my brother is too boring, come find me. I know the best places to eat in Seoul." "I'm here to work, Mr. I.M., Adanna said, pulling her hand away gently. She kept her voice cool. "Ouch," Minho smiled. "Cold, just like him. You two are a perfect match." Woo-jin stiffened. "Let's go. The meeting is starting." The boardroom was full. Old men in dark suits sat around the table like vultures. At the far end sat Minjai, the fiancé. When she saw Adanna, her eyes narrowed into slits. She whispered something to the woman next to her. Adanna took a seat in the corner, away from the main table. She opened her laptop and pretended to type, but she was watching. Woo-jin sat at the head of the table. Minho sat on his right. "The quarterly reports are down," an old man with thick glasses said. "The shipping division is bleeding money." "It's a temporary setback," Woo-jin said. "The new trade routes will open next month." "We've been hearing that for 6 months, Minho said softly. He looked concerned, not angry. "Hyung, maybe we should consider selling the shipping division. Mother thinks we should focus on tech." "Mother thinks a lot of things," Woo-jin snapped. "But she isn't the CEO, I am." "For now," Minjai piped up. She smiled sweetly. "My father is worried, Woo-jin. He says the stock price is wobbling. If you can't stabilize the company, well, the wedding might have to be postponed." The room went silent. This was a direct threat. Adanna watched Minho. He was looking down at his papers, but she saw a tiny smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. It was gone in a second. He's enjoying this, Adanna thought. He's not the nice brother, he's the actor. She looked at the old man with the glasses. He kept glancing at Minho every time he spoke. A quick look, checking for approval. They're working together, Adanna realized. The old man attacks and Minho plays the peacemaker, all while steering the ship toward the rocks. Woo-jin looked cornered. He was fighting alone. Suddenly, Adanna spoke up. "Actually," she said loudly. Every head turned to look at her. "Who is she?" the old man barked. "I'm the external auditor," Adanna said, standing up. She didn't ask for permission. She walked to the table. "And I've been reviewing the shipping contracts from the New York side." She didn't have the contracts. She was bluffing. "The loss in the shipping division isn't because of the routes," Adanna lied smoothly. "It's because of the vendor fees. Someone has been hiking up the fuel prices by 15% through a shell company in Panama." She looked straight at the old man with glasses. "Director Choi, isn't it?" Adanna asked. "You signed those vendor contracts." Director Choi's face went pale. That's standard market rate." "It's 15% above market rate," Adanna said. "I can pull the comparables right now." Minho looked up. His smile was gone. He looked at Adanna with sharp, calculating eyes. Woo-jin leaned back in his chair. He didn't smile, but his eyes were shining. "Is that true, Director Choi?" Woo-jin asked. "Are you stealing from my company?" "No, I investigate it," Woo-jin ordered his secretary. "Right now." He looked at Adanna. "Thank you, Ms. Oak. Please sit down." Adanna sat back down. Heart was hammering. She had just made a lot of enemies, but she had saved Woo-jin. Minjai glared at Adanna. If looks could kill, Adanna would be dead on the floor. Minho leaned over to Woo-jin. "She's sharp, Hyung. Where did you find her?" "I told you," Woo-jin said. "She's just a lawyer." "I don't think so," Minho murmured, looking at Adanna. "She's a player, and I think I want to play." The meeting ended in chaos. Director Choi was escorted out by security. Woo-jin called for a recess. As everyone filed out, Minjai walked up to Adanna. She was taller than Adanna in her heels. She smelled like rosewater and money. "You think you're clever," Minjai hissed. "I'm just doing my job," Adanna said. "Stay away from him," Minjai warned. "Woo-jin is mine, and I don't share my toys." He's a person, not a toy, Adanna said. Minjai laughed. In our world, darling, everyone is a toy. You just have to decide if you're the one playing or the one being played with. She turned and walked away. Woo-jin came up to Adanna. He grabbed her elbow and steered her into his private office, locking the door behind them. You lied, he said. I improvised, Adanna corrected. Director Choi was looking at Minho for instructions. I figured they were in cahoots. The fuel prices were a guess. Everyone skims off the fuel prices. Woo-jin stared at her. Then he started to laugh. It was a real laugh this time, a deep, rumbling sound that made him look 10 years younger. You are dangerous, Adanna Oak, he said. I told you I don't make mistakes, she smiled. He stopped laughing. He looked at her with an intensity that made her knees weak. You just put a target on your back, he said seriously. Director Choi is a small fish, but Minho, he noticed you. He will come for you now. Let him come, Adanna said, feeling a surge of adrenaline. I can handle a pretty boy in a suit. Don't underestimate him, Woo-jin said. He walked around his desk and opened a drawer. He pulled out a small black box. Give me your phone, he said. Adanna handed it to him. He installed a small chip in the back and handed it back. Tracker, he said, and a panic button. Press the volume down key 3 times and my security team will find you anywhere in Seoul. Is it really that bad? Adanna asked. It's war, Woo-jin said, and you just fired the first shot. He looked at the clock. I have a lunch meeting with the investors. You stay here, review the real shipping files. Find me something I can use against Minho. Yes, boss, Adanna said. Woo-jin paused at the door. He looked back at her. Adanna, yes. Thank you. He left. Adanna was alone in his massive office. She walked to the window and looked out at the city. She was terrified. She was excited. She was in love with a mafia prince who might get her killed. What am I doing, she thought. But then she remembered the look on Minho's face. The arrogance, the entitlement. I'm taking them down, she decided. All of them. She sat at Woo-jin's desk and opened the files. She worked for hours. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the room. Around 6:00 p.m., the door opened. Adanna looked up, expecting Woo-jin. It wasn't Woo-jin, it was Minho. He was alone. He locked the door behind him. Working late? He asked, flashing that boyish smile. Adanna's hand went to her phone. She felt for the volume button. Mr. I am, she said calmly. Woo-jin isn't here. I know, Minho said. Walk toward the desk. I waited for him to leave. I wanted to talk to you, woman to man. I have nothing to say to you, Adanna said. Oh, come on, Minho said. He sat on the edge of the desk, too close. You're smart, too smart for a simple lawyer. What is he paying you? Whatever it is, I'll double it. I'm not for sale, Adanna said. Everyone is for sale, Minho said. My brother is a sinking ship, Ms. Oak. He's violent. He's unstable. You saw the director today. Woo-jin rules by fear. I rule by generosity. He reached out and touched a lock of her hair. Join me, Minho whispered. Help me push him off the throne, and when I'm king, you can be anything you want. General counsel, VP, my personal advisor. Adanna slapped his hand away. I'd rather sink with him than swim with you, she spat. Minho's smile didn't waver, but his eyes went cold, dead cold. Pity, he said. I hate destroying beautiful things. He stood up and straightened his jacket. You have until tomorrow to change your mind. After that, well, accidents happen in Seoul every day. He winked at her and walked out. Adanna let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. She pressed the volume button 3 times. Click, click, click. 10 seconds later, her phone rang. Adanna, Woo-jin's voice was frantic. I'm coming, stay there. I'm okay, Adanna said, her voice shaking. But Minho was here. He offered me a job. Did he touch you? Woo-jin growled. No, but he threatened me. Taking the elevator up now, Woo-jin said. Pack your things. We're not safe at the office anymore. Where are we going? Somewhere they won't look, Woo-jin said. Somewhere from my past. Woo-jin burst into the office a minute later. He looked wild. He grabbed her hand and pulled her out. They didn't take the main elevator. They took the service stairs, down 20 flights. They ran out the back exit into an alleyway. A nondescript van was waiting. Get in, Woo-jin said. They piled into the van. It sped off instantly. Adanna looked at Woo-jin. He was breathing hard. Where are we really going, Woo-jin? He looked at her. To the underground, he said. My father started as a street thug before the suits, before the towers. He built a safe house in the slums of Itaewon. No cameras, no digital locks, old school. The slums, Adanna asked. It's the only place Minho's tech can't find us, Woo-jin said. He took her hand and squeezed it. Welcome to the real Seoul, Adanna. The van navigated through narrow, winding streets. The neon lights got brighter, dirtier. The buildings were crammed together. People shouted and drank in the streets. The van stopped in front of a rusty metal door in a dark alley. We walk from here, Woo-jin said. He led her through a maze of backstreets. They stopped at a small, run-down noodle shop. An old woman was stirring a giant pot of soup. She looked up and saw Woo-jin. Her wrinkled face broke into a toothless smile. "Little prince," she cackled. "Hello, Auntie," Woo-jin said, bowing respectfully. "We need the back room." "Trouble?" she asked, eyeing his suit. "Always," Woo-jin said. She threw a set of keys at him. "Go, eat later." Woo-jin unlocked a door behind the kitchen. It led to a small, dusty apartment, a single mattress on the floor, a tiny window, a flickering bulb. It was a million miles away from the penthouse. "This is it," Woo-jin said, locking the door and sliding a heavy iron bolt across it. Took off his jacket and threw it on a chair. He loosened his tie. "I'm sorry," he said, looking around the grim room. "It's not what you're used to." Adanna looked at him. He looked out of place here like a diamond in the mud, but he also looked relaxed. The tension in his shoulders was gone. "I grew up in a place like this," Adanna said softly. "In Lagos, before my dad got the visa, we had one room for 6 of us." Woo-jin looked at her, surprised. "I thought you were a rich American girl." "I'm a survivor," Adanna said, "just like you." Woo-jin walked over to her. The room was small, forcing them close together. The air was thick with the smell of spices from the kitchen and the heat of their bodies. "Minho will tear the city apart looking for us," Woo-jin said. "Let him look," Adanna said. She reached out and touched his face. "We have tonight." Woo-jin caught her hand. He kissed her palm. "Adanna," he warned, "if we do this, there is no going back. You become mine, fully. And my enemies become your enemies." "I already picked a side," Adanna whispered. "I picked the monster," Woo-jin groaned. He pulled her against him, his hands tangling in her hair. "I am a monster," he murmured against her lips. "But for you, I will be a shield." He kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It was desperate. It was the kiss of a man who had been running for a long time and finally found home. Adanna wrapped her arms around his neck, pulling him deeper. Dusty room, the danger, the brothers, the fiancé, it all faded away. There was only this, only him. The morning light that filtered into the tiny room in Itaewon wasn't gold or soft. It was gray and smelled like old fry oil and exhaust fumes. Adanna woke up stiff. The mattress on the floor was thin, and she could feel the cold concrete underneath it through the fabric. She rolled over, reaching out for warmth, but the space beside her was empty. Adanna sat up quickly, her heart skipping a beat. Woo-jin. He was sitting by the window, peering through a crack in the dusty blinds. He had his shirt sleeves rolled up, and his gun was resting on the windowsill next to a bowl of instant noodles. "I'm here," he said without turning around. His voice was rough, like he hadn't slept at all. "Eat, Auntie brought food." Adanna looked at the noodles. Her stomach growled. She crawled over to him, wrapping the blanket around her shoulders. The events of last night rushed back to her, the escape, the van, the kiss. The way he had held her like she was the only thing keeping him from falling off the edge of the world. "Did you sleep?" she asked. "No," Woo-jin said. "I can't sleep, not while Minho is out there hunting." He turned to look at her. His eyes were red-rimmed, but his gaze was steady. He reached out and touched her cheek with his thumb. "You talk in your sleep." Adanna felt her face heat up. "I do, what did I say?" "You said don't shoot," Woo-jin said softly. He dropped his hand. "I dragged you into hell, Adanna. I'm sorry." "Stop apologizing," Adanna said, grabbing a pair of wooden chopsticks. "We're a team now, remember, the monster and the lawyer." Woo-jin cracked a small, tired smile. "Eat, we have work to do. You made a big claim in that boardroom yesterday about a Panama shell company. Now we have to actually find it." "I was bluffing about the specific company," Adanna admitted, stirring the noodles. "But the math doesn't lie, Woo-jin. Minho is bleeding the shipping division dry. The money has to be going somewhere. And we need to find out where before he finds us," Woo-jin said. He checked his watch. "I sent a runner to get a burner laptop and a secure hotspot. We dig today. Tonight we move." Pause. "I need you to focus. The honeymoon phase is over. They are hiding in a slum, eating instant noodles with a billion-dollar target on their backs. I have to ask you, could you handle this? If the love of your life told you to sleep on a floor mattress in a safe house while assassins hunted you down, would you stay? Or would you call an Uber and run? Tell me in the comments, ride or die or run for the hills. And listen, if you haven't hit that subscribe button for Timeless K-Love yet, what are you doing? Adanna is about to use her brain to take down a mafia empire from a noodle shop basement. You do not want to miss this takedown. Subscribe now. Join the resistance. Okay, let's get to work. The runner arrived 20 minutes later. It was a teenage boy with dyed green hair who didn't ask questions. He handed Woo-jin a battered laptop and a black dongle, took a wad of cash, and vanished. Adanna set up the office on top of a cardboard box. She cracked her knuckles. Okay, she said. I need access to the IM group server. Can you get me in? My credentials will be flagged, Woo-jin said. If I log in, Minho will pinpoint our location in 10 seconds. I don't need your login, Adanna said, a mischievous glint in her eye. I need Director Choi's. Woo-jin raised an eyebrow. Choi, he was fired yesterday. Exactly, Adanna said. When people get fired, it usually takes a few hours to kill their access fully, especially if the IT guy is lazy, and Director Choi doesn't look like the type to change his password often. She typed furiously. What's his birthday? March 12th, 1955, Woo-jin recanted instantly. He knew everything about his employees. Adanna tried a few combinations. Choi 955. Director Choi, IM Group 1. Come on, you old goat, she muttered. She tried the name of his dog, which Woo-jin remembered from a company picnic. Buster 123. Access granted. I'm in, Adanna whispered. I'm in the shipping manifest logs. Woo-jin pulled a crate over and sat next to her, watching the screen. Look for the Panama route, the one you mentioned. Adanna scrolled through thousands of lines of code and data. Her eyes scanned for irregularities. Lawyer brain engaged. She wasn't looking for the obvious, she was looking for the boring stuff. The rounding errors, the weight discrepancies. Here, she pointed. Look at this. Every shipment going to the port of Colon in Panama is registered as agricultural machinery. But the weight. Look at the weight, Woo-jin. Woo-jin squinted. It's too light. Tractors are heavy. These containers are registered at half the weight. And look at the insurance, Adanna added. They are insuring these crates for 10 times the value of tractors. Who insures a tractor for $5 million? Someone who isn't shipping tractors, Woo-jin said darkly. Minho isn't stealing money, he's smuggling. Smuggling what? There is only one thing worth that much per pound, Woo-jin said. He stood up and paced the small room. My father banned the drug trade 10 years ago. He wanted to go legit. He said drugs bring too much heat. Think Minho restarted it. If he did and the police find out the IM group is finished, the government will seize everything. We will go to prison for life. We need proof, Adanna said. We can't just show the spreadsheet to the board, they'll say it's a typo. We need to open one of those crates, Woo-jin said. Where are they? Adanna checked the logs. Container number 77 Bravo. It's scheduled to depart tonight at 11:00 p.m. from the Incheon private terminal. Woo-jin looked at her. That's 4 hours from now. We can make it, Adanna said, standing up. No, Woo-jin said. I can make it, you are staying here. Oh no, Adanna crossed her arms. I am the only one who knows what the manifest looks like. I am the only one who can verify the serial numbers. If you go alone, you're just a thug breaking into a box. If I go, we are collecting evidence. It's dangerous, Adanna. The docks are Minho's playground. I faced a gunman in your living room in my pajamas, Adanna reminded him. I think I can handle a shipping container. Woo-jin stared at her for a long moment. He looked torn between locking her in the room and kissing her again. Finally, he went to his bag and pulled out a black tactical vest. Put this on, he ordered. And if I tell you to run, you run. You don't argue, you run. Deal, Adanna lied. The rain started as they approached Incheon. It was a heavy, cold downpour that blurred the lights of the port. The private terminal was a maze of steel and shadows. Stacks of shipping containers rose like skyscrapers into the night sky. Woo-jin parked the van a mile away. They walked the rest of the way, sticking to the fence line. Woo-jin moved like a cat, silent, fast. Adanna struggled to keep up in her borrowed sneakers, the mud sucking at her feet. They found a gap in the fence that Woo-jin cut with wire cutters. Stay close, he whispered. The rain plastered his hair to his forehead. He looked dangerous. He looked like the king of Seoul. They crept through the rows of containers. The wind howled off the ocean, masking the sound of their footsteps. 75, 76. Adanna counted the numbers painted on the steel sides. There, 77 Bravo. It was a red container, sitting alone near a loading crane. A black SUV was parked next to it. 2 men were standing guard, smoking cigarettes under an umbrella. Guards, Adanna whispered. I see them, Woo-jin said. He scanned the area. Wait here. What are you going to do? I'm going to ask them to leave, Woo-jin said grimly. He disappeared into the shadows. Adanna crouched behind a blue crate, her heart hammering against the bulletproof vest. She counted the seconds. 1, 2, 10. She heard a thud, then a splash. One of the guards was gone. The second guard shouted, reaching for his belt. Hey, who's there? Woo-jin stepped out from behind the SUV. He didn't have his gun drawn. He just walked forward. The guard froze. He recognized him. Mister, I am... The guard stammered. We were told no one was allowed here. I'm inspecting the cargo, Woo-jin said, his voice carrying over the rain. Open it. Sir, Mr. Minho said. Woo-jin moved so fast Adanna barely saw it. He struck the guard in the throat, then swept his legs. The guard hit the wet pavement and didn't get up. Woo-jin waved Adanna over. Hurry. She ran across the open space, the rain stinging her face. The guard on the ground was groaning, clutching his neck. Woo-jin ignored him and grabbed the heavy iron latch of the container. He pulled. It groaned, rusted and heavy, then swung open. The inside was dark. Woo-jin clicked on a flashlight. Tractors, huh? Adanna whispered. There were no tractors. The container was filled with wooden crates stamped with a logo Adanna didn't recognize, a black dragon eating the sun. Help me, Woo-jin said. He used a crowbar to pry the lid off the nearest crate. They looked inside. Adanna gasped. Oh my God! It wasn't drugs, it was guns, high-tech, military-grade assault rifles, hundreds of them, and underneath the guns, wrapped in plastic, were small silver canisters. What is that? Adanna asked, reaching for a canister. Don't touch it, Woo-jin barked. He grabbed her wrist. That's VX gas, chemical weapons. Adanna pulled her hand back, horrified. Chemical weapons. Woo-jin, this isn't just smuggling, this is terrorism. Minho isn't selling to gangs, Woo-jin said, his face pale in the flashlight beam. He's selling to insurgents if this gets out. The IM family won't just go to jail, we will be executed for treason. We have to take pictures, Adanna said, fumbling for her phone. We need proof. She snapped photos of the guns, the canisters, the shipping manifest tacked to the wall. We have enough, Woo-jin said. Let's go. They turned to leave. Click. Floodlights blinded them. Adanna threw her hands up to shield her eyes. The entire dock was suddenly bathed in white light. Smile for the camera, Hayoung, a voice boomed over a loudspeaker. Minho, Adanna squinted. Standing on top of a stack of containers, looking down at them like a god, was Minho. He was holding a microphone in one hand and an umbrella in the other. He looked impeccable, dry, and bored. Surrounding the container, emerging from the shadows, were 20 men, all armed. You really are predictable, Woo-jin, Minho called down, his voice echoing. I knew Ms. Oak would figure out the shipping weight. She's a smart girl, too smart. Woo-jin stepped in front of Adanna, shielding her with his body. He drew his gun, but it was useless, 20 against 1. Let her go, Minho, Woo-jin shouted. This is between us. It was between us, Minho said comfortably, until she decided to hack my accounts. Now she's a liability. Minho signaled to his men. Kill him. Keep the girl alive. I have questions for her. Run, Woo-jin whispered to Adanna. What? When I start shooting, run for the water, he said. Don't look back. I'm not leaving you, Adanna screamed. Gio, Woo-jin roared. He opened fire. Bang, bang, bang. 3 men went down. The rest scrambled for cover and returned fire. The sound was deafening. Bullets sparked against the metal container. Adanna didn't run. She couldn't. Instead, she grabbed one of the assault rifles from the crate. She didn't know how to use it, but she knew where the trigger was. Adanna, get down! Woo-jin yelled, firing at a man rushing them. I'm helping, Adanna shouted. She pointed the rifle at the guys on the left and pulled the trigger. The recoil almost knocked her over, spraying bullets into the sky, but it forced the men to duck. You're crazy, Woo-jin laughed, a frantic, wild sound. They were pinned down inside the container. Bullets pinged off the metal walls. They were trapped. We can't win this, Woo-jin said, reloading his clip. We need a distraction. He looked at the canisters of gas. Then he looked at Adanna. Do you trust me? He asked. Stop asking me that, Adanna yelled, firing another burst. Yes. Cover your face, Woo-jin said. Hold your breath. We are going to make a smoke screen. He didn't open the gas. That would kill them. Instead, he shot the fuel tank of the black SUV parked right outside the doors. Boom. The explosion shook the ground. A ball of fire erupted, consuming the entrance. Black smoke billowed into the air, thick and choking. Now! Woo-jin grabbed her hand. They ran through the fire. The heat seared Adanna's skin, singeing her hair. The smoke blinded everyone. The guards were coughing, shouting, firing blindly. Woo-jin knew the layout. He dragged her through the chaos, ducking under the crane, weaving through the stacks. Stop them, Minho screamed from above. Don't let them escape. They reached the edge of the pier. The water was 10 feet down, black and churning. Jump, Woo-jin yelled. They jumped. The cold water hit Adanna like a hammer. It sucked the air out of her lungs. She went deep, the darkness swallowing her. She kicked, fighting the heavy tactical vest. A hand grabbed her collar. Woo-jin. He pulled her up. They broke the surface, gasping. The current was strong, pulling them away from the docks, away from the lights and the guns. Swim, Woo-jin choked out. To the buoy. They swam until their muscles burned. They reached a rusty navigation buoy and clung to it, shivering violently. Back at the dock, the fire was still burning. They could see flashlights searching the water. They think we drowned, Adanna chattered, her teeth clicking together. Let them think that, Woo-jin said. He wrapped his arm around her, trying to share what little warmth he had. We have the photos, we have the proof. My phone, Adanna gasped. She reached into her pocket. It was waterproof, thankfully. It's still here. Good, Woo-jin said. He looked at her, his wet hair plastered to his face. You shot a machine gun. I did, Adanna said, a hysterical giggle bubbling up. I shot a machine gun. I think I'm falling in love with you, Woo-jin said. The words hung in the cold, wet air. Adanna froze. Don't say that because of the adrenaline, she warned. I'm saying it because you are the only person who has ever stood beside me in the fire, Woo-jin said. He kissed her wet forehead. But we aren't safe yet. We have to get to land. We have to upload those photos to the press before Minho hunts us down. Where do we go? Adanna asked. We can't go back to the safe house. He knows we're alive. There is one person, Woo-jin said slowly. One person who hates Minho as much as I do. Who? Minjai, Woo-jin said. Your fiancé, Adanna shrieked. Are you insane? She wants to kill me. She wants to be queen, Woo-jin said. If Minho takes over, she gets nothing. Her father's deal is with me. She is a businesswoman, Adanna. If we show her the evidence that Minho is committing treason, she will help us. She has to. Or she'll turn us in and take the credit, Adanna said. It's a gamble, Woo-jin admitted. But it's the only card we have left. An hour later, they dragged themselves onto a rocky beach 3 miles south of the port. They were freezing, exhausted, and smelled like burnt gasoline. They stole clothes from a clothesline in a backyard, a pair of oversized sweatpants for Adanna and a mechanic's jumpsuit for Woo-jin. It was humiliating, but they were dry. They walked to a payphone. Woo-jin dialed a number. Minjai, he said when she answered. Woo-jin, her voice was sharp. Where the hell are you? The police are looking for you. They say you blew up a dock. I have something you want, Woo-jin said. I have the crown. What are you talking about? Meet me, the Namsan Tower, midnight. Come alone or Minho wins. He hung up. Namsan Tower, Adanna asked. That's a tourist trap. It's public, Woo-jin said. And it's high ground. Let's go. They took a night bus, huddling in the back. By the time they reached Namsan, the rain had stopped. The tower glowed against the night sky. They took the cable car up. It was empty. The city of Seoul spread out below them, a carpet of diamonds. It was breathtaking and deadly. Minjai was waiting on the observation deck. She was wearing a trench coat and sunglasses even at night. She looked annoyed. When she saw them, Woo-jin in a mechanic's suit and Adanna in baggy sweatpants, her lip curled. You look hideous, she told Adanna. Nice to see you too, Adanna said. What do you have? Minjai asked Woo-jin, ignoring the pleasantries. Woo-jin took Adanna's phone. He brought up the photos, the guns, the gas, the shipping manifest. Minho is selling chemical weapons to insurgents, Woo-jin said. If this gets out, the government freezes the IM group's assets. The stock goes to zero. Your father gets nothing. Minjai stared at the screen, her face paled. She took off her sunglasses. The idiot, she whispered. He's risking everything for a quick buck. Help us take him down, Woo-jin said. Call an emergency board meeting for tomorrow morning. We will present this evidence. You back me up. Minho goes to jail. I take the CEO chair, and your father gets his merger. And her. Minjai pointed a manicured finger at Adanna. What about the stray? Woo-jin stepped closer to Minjai. Adanna is non-negotiable. She stays. She is my counsel. Minjai studied him. She looked at Adanna, then back at Woo-jin. She saw something in his eyes, something she had never seen before. You love her, Minjai said. It wasn't a question. Yes, Woo-jin said. Minjai let out a short, bitter laugh. How tragic, the prince falls for the pauper. Fine, I don't care who warms your bed, Woo-jin. I just want the power. I will call the board meeting. 9:00 a.m. She turned to leave, her heels clicking on the pavement. But Woo-jin, she called back. Yes, Minho isn't just selling weapons, she said. He has a partner, someone inside the government. Be careful who you trust tomorrow. She disappeared into the elevator. Adanna let out a breath. Do you think she'll do it? She's greedy, Woo-jin said. Greed is predictable. He walked to the railing, looking out at the city. Tomorrow it ends, one way or another. Adanna stood beside him. You have to survive until tomorrow. We will, Woo-jin said. He wrapped his arm around her. Suddenly, a red laser dot appeared on Woo-jin's chest. Adanna saw it first. Woo-jin, she shoved him hard. Crack, a bullet chipped the stone railing right where his heart had been. Sniper, Woo-jin yelled. He grabbed Adanna and threw her to the ground behind a concrete bench. Another shot rang out. Crack. This one hit the bench, spraying concrete dust into their hair. Where is it coming from? Adanna screamed. The radio tower. Woo-jin pointed to a structure a few hundred yards away. Minho didn't come alone, he followed Minjai. They were pinned down again, but this time they were 800 feet in the air with nowhere to run. We can't stay here, Woo-jin said. He has the angle, he'll pick us off. The elevator, Adanna said. Too exposed, the glass walls. Woo-jin looked around. He saw the maintenance hatch for the cable car gears. The service ladder, he said. We have to climb down the tower structure. Climb down. Adanna looked over the edge. It was a straight drop into darkness. Are you crazy? Do you want to climb or do you want to die? Woo-jin asked. Another bullet whizzed past Adanna's ear. Climb, she yelled. They scrambled to the hatch. Woo-jin kicked it open. The wind roared up at them. A rusty metal ladder bolted to the side of the tower led down into the abyss. Woo-jin went first. Don't look down, just look at my hands. Adanna climbed onto the ladder. The wind whipped her hair into her face. Her hands were slippery with sweat. She took a step down, then another. Above them, she heard footsteps running on the observation deck. The sniper was repositioning. Faster, Woo-jin urged. They climbed down 50 feet, swinging in the wind. Adanna's muscles screamed. Suddenly, the hatch above them opened. A face looked down. It wasn't a sniper. It was David. Adanna's boss from New York. He was holding a gun. David. Adanna screamed, the wind tearing the name from her lips. Sorry, Adanna, David shouted down, his voice trembling. Minho offered me $10 million. I have a mortgage. He raised the gun, pointing it straight at her head. Adanna stared up at the man she had fetched coffee for, the man she had written briefs for. He was going to kill her for a check. Goodbye, Adanna, David said. He squeezed the trigger. Click. The gun jammed. David looked at the gun, confused. What? Woo-jin didn't hesitate. He pulled his own gun, the one he had tucked in his jumpsuit, and fired upward. Bang! David screamed as the bullet hit his shoulder. He fell back, disappearing from the hatch opening. Move! Woo-jin yelled. He'll come back! They scrambled down the ladder, sliding more than climbing. They reached the roof of the cable car station and jumped. They rolled onto the metal roof, gasping for air. David, Adanna wheezed. My boss, he's the inside man. Money makes people do crazy things, Woo-jin said. He pulled her up. We have to get to the street. They ran down the fire escape of the station. They hit the street level and didn't stop running until they found a taxi. Where to? The driver asked, looking at their dirty clothes. The police station, Woo-jin said. No, Adanna grabbed his arm. Minjai said Minho has a partner in the government. The police might be on his payroll. Woo-jin froze. She was right. There was no one to trust. Then where? He asked. Adanna looked at him. She was tired. She was dirty. She had almost died 3 times in 24 hours. The boardroom, she said. What? We go to the IM group building, Adanna said. Now, we hide in the building until the meeting starts. It's the last place they'll look for us tonight. Woo-jin smiled. It was a terrifying smile. Hiding in the lion's den, he said. I like it. Scene, the morning of the meeting, Adanna woke up under a desk in the marketing department on the 40th floor. They had sneaked in through the loading dock and hidden in the cubicles. It was 8:30 a.m. People were starting to arrive. Time to suit up, Woo-jin whispered. He had broken into the executive gym locker room earlier and stolen clean clothes. A suit for him that was a little too tight and a secretary's uniform for Adanna. They changed in the supply closet. Ready? Woo-jin asked. He adjusted his stolen tie. Ready, Adanna said. She smoothed the skirt. Let's go fire your brother. They walked to the elevator. Adanna's heart was in her throat. This was the end. The elevator opened on the top floor. The boardroom was down the hall. They could hear voices. Woo-jin didn't knock. He kicked the doors open. The room went silent. 20 board members turned around. Minho was at the head of the table, smiling. David was there too, his arm in a sling, looking pale. Minjai was sitting next to her father. Sorry we're late, Woo-jin said, striding into the room. Traffic was murder. Minho stood up. Security, he yelled. Get them out. Sit down, Minho, Woo-jin barked. The command was so powerful, so filled with authority, that Minho actually sat. I have a presentation to make, Woo-jin said. He pulled a USB drive from his pocket. Adanna had transferred the photos earlier. He plugged it into the projector. The screen lit up. The guns, the gas, the manifest. The board members gasped. Minjai's father stood up, his face red. What is this? He demanded. This, Adanna said, stepping forward, is what your investment is funding, domestic terrorism. Minho's face turned purple. It's a lie, Photoshop. Is it? Adanna asked. We have the metadata, we have the GPS coordinates, and we have the witness. She pointed at David. David, Adanna said, tell them or I swear to God I will add attempted murder to your indictment. David looked at Minho. Then he looked at Adanna. He looked at his sling. He paid me, David squeaked. He told me to sabotage the merger. He's selling the weapons to a group in the north. The room erupted. Treason, someone shouted. Minho realized it was over. His mask crumbled. He pulled a gun from under the table. Nobody moves, he screamed. He pointed the gun at Woo-jin. You ruined everything. I was going to be king. You were never a king, Woo-jin said calmly. He didn't flinch. You're just a thief. Die, Minho yelled. He pulled the trigger. Bang, Adanna screamed. But Woo-jin didn't fall. Minho fell. Minjai was standing behind him. She was holding a small, pearl-handled pistol. She had shot Minho in the back. Minho hit the table, then slid to the floor. Silence. Minjai blew the smoke from the barrel. I told you, she said to the room. I don't share my toys. She looked at Woo-jin. You owe me a wedding dress. The smell of gunpowder hung heavy in the boardroom, mixing with the scent of expensive coffee and fear. Minho's body lay on the rug, motionless. The pearl-handled pistol smoked in Minjai's hand. The board members were frozen. They were old men who dealt in stocks and bonds, not blood and bullets. Call the police, Woo-jin ordered, breaking the silence. Tell them it was self-defense. He pulled a weapon. He threatened the board. Minjai dropped the gun onto the table with a clatter. She looked at her father. Daddy, make the call. Make sure the police commissioner handles this personally. We don't want a scandal. Her father, shaking like a leaf, pulled out his phone. Minjai walked over to Woo-jin. She didn't look at the body of the man she had just killed. She looked at her fiancé. I saved you, she said, her voice flat. You did, Woo-jin admitted. He didn't holster his gun. He kept it at his side. Why? Because Minho was bad for business, Minjai said coldly. He was reckless, selling gas to terrorists. The sanctions would have destroyed my father's company too. You are stable, usually. She glanced at Adanna, who was standing next to the projector, shaking. Usually, Minjai repeated. But now we have a problem. What problem? Woo-jin asked. The merger, Minjai said. With Minho dead, the stock is going to freefall. The investors will panic. The only way to save the IM group and my father's investment is stability, a show of strength. She stepped closer, placing a hand on Woo-jin's chest. Her red nails looked like claws against his dark suit. The wedding happens in 3 days, Minjai declared. We get married, we merge the companies, we show the world that the IM empire is stronger than ever. No, Adanna said. Minjai turned her head slowly. Excuse me. He's not marrying you, Adanna said, stepping forward. Her legs felt like jelly, but her voice was strong. He doesn't love you. Minjai laughed. It was a cruel, high-pitched sound. Love, you think this is a K-drama, sweetie. This is business. I don't care if he loves me. I care about my portfolio. She turned back to Woo-jin. Here's the deal, darling. You marry me and I testify that Minho threatened us. I tell the police he was a traitor. I save your company. She leaned in close. But if you refuse, I tell the police you shot him. I tell them you brought your mistress here to stage a coup. It's my word against yours, and I have the gun. Adanna gasped. It was the perfect trap. Minjai held all the cards. Woo-jin looked at Minjai. Then he looked at Adanna. I won't do it, Woo-jin said. Then you go to prison, Minjai shrugged. And she goes with you as an accomplice. Is that what you want for her? Prison? Woo-jin's jaw tightened. He looked at Adanna with agony in his eyes. He was trapped. To save Adanna, he had to marry Minjai. Fine, Woo-jin whispered. I'll do it. Woo-jin, no, Adanna cried. Get her out of here, Minjai ordered the security guards who were finally rushing in. Clean up this mess. We have a wedding to plan. Pause, take a deep breath. This is the ultimate betrayal. Woo-jin just agreed to marry the villain to save Adanna. It's noble, but it's also heartbreaking. I need to know, what would you do in Adanna's shoes? Option A, fight for him, crash the wedding. Option B, walk away, save yourself. He made his choice. Tell me in the comments, fight or flight. And listen, we are approaching the grand finale. The wedding is in 3 days. If you haven't hit that subscribe button for Timeless K-Love yet, you are going to miss the most explosive ending in our channel's history. Adanna isn't the type to give up. You shouldn't be either. Subscribe now. Okay, let's get to the wedding. Adanna was escorted out of the building by security. They put her in a taxi and sent her back to her hotel. She sat on the bed, staring at the wall. The news was already breaking. Chaos ATIM Group headquarters. Younger heir dead. Woo-jin IM to take control. Power couple, Woo-jin IM and Minjai Kang to wed this Saturday. They were spinning it. Minho was a tragic accident, a mental breakdown. Woo-jin and Minjai were the heroes holding the company together. Adanna felt numb. She packed her suitcase. Her flight back to New York was tomorrow morning. She should go. She had done her job. She had exposed the corruption. She had saved the merger, but she had lost the man. Knock. Knock. Adanna jumped. Who is it? Room service, a muffled voice said. Adanna opened the door. It wasn't room service. It was David. He was wearing a hoodie, his arms still in a sling. He looked terrible. Pale, sweaty, shaking. David! Adanna tried to slam the door, but he jammed his foot in it. Wait, David begged. Please, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to apologize. You tried to kill me, Adanna shouted, pushing against the door. You sold me out for $10 million. I know, David sobbed. And I lost it all. Minho is dead. The money is gone. I'm going to jail. He pushed the door open and fell to his knees on the carpet. I have nothing left, Adanna, but I can give you one thing. What? Adanna asked, grabbing a heavy lamp just in case. I know why Minjai wants the merger so bad, David whispered. It's not about the stock price. Adanna paused. What do you mean? I saw the files, David said. When I was working with Minho, Minjai's father, his company is bankrupt. They cooked the books. Enron's style. If they don't merge with the IM group by Monday, their debt comes due. They will be exposed. They will lose everything. Adanna's eyes widened. She's not marrying him for power. She's marrying him for a bailout. Exactly, David said. She needs Woo-jin's cash flow to cover up $1 billion hole in her father's accounts. If Woo-jin knew that, he wouldn't just cancel the wedding. He could buy her company for pennies on the dollar. Adanna dropped the lamp. She's bluffing, Adanna whispered. She threatened to frame him for murder, but she can't. If Woo-jin goes to jail, the stock tanks and her company dies. She needs him free and rich. She has no leverage, David said. She's desperate. Adanna looked at David. Why are you telling me this? Because you were the only one who was ever nice to me, David said, tears streaming down his face. And because I hate her more than I hate prison. Adanna grabbed her coat. Get up, David, we have work to do. Where are we going? We're going to crash a wedding, Adanna said. But first, we need to print some financial reports. The wedding day, Saturday, the Shilla Hotel was a fortress. Security was tight. Paparazzi swarmed the gates. This was the event of the decade, the union of two great dynasties. Inside the grand ballroom, everything was white. White roses, white silk, white lies. Woo-jin stood at the altar. He looked like he was attending a funeral. His face was pale, his eyes dead. He wore a black tuxedo that fit perfectly, but he stood stiffly, like a man awaiting execution. Minjai walked down the aisle. She looked spectacular, a dress of lace and diamonds that cost more than a small country. She smiled at the cameras, waving, the perfect bride. Adanna watched from the balcony. She was wearing her black power suit. She wasn't a guest. She was an executioner. Do you have the microphone ready? She asked the sound technician. The tech guy nodded. He was a young kid Adanna had bribed with $500 and a promise of a job in America. You're sure about this? I'll get fired. You'll be a legend, Adanna promised. Down below, the priest began to speak. We are gathered here today. Minjai reached for Woo-jin's hand. Woo-jin let her take it. He looked defeated. Do you, Minjai Kang, take this man? I do, Minjai said loudly. And do you, Woo-jin, I am? Woo-jin hesitated. The silence stretched. The guests shifted in their seats. Woo-jin, Minjai hissed through her smiling teeth. Say it or I ruin you. Woo-jin took a breath. He opened his mouth. Objection! The voice boomed through the speakers, loud enough to crack the crystal glasses. Everyone turned. Adanna stood on the balcony, holding a microphone. Who is that? Minjai screamed. Security! I object to this union, Adanna shouted. On the grounds of fraud. Woo-jin looked up. Life flooded back into his eyes. Adanna! Minjai Kang is bankrupt, Adanna announced. She threw a stack of papers over the balcony railing. They fluttered down like snow, financial reports, bank statements, emails. Her father's company is insolvent, Adanna continued, her voice ringing clear. They are hiding $1 billion in debt. This isn't a merger, it's a robbery. She's trying to use the IM Group's assets to pay off her father's gambling debts. The guests scrambled to pick up the papers. Reporters were flashing photos of the documents. Minjai's father stood up, clutching his chest. Lies, all lies. It's in the audit report, Adanna yelled. Page 45, look at the shell companies. Woo-jin picked up a piece of paper that had landed at his feet. He scanned it. His eyes narrowed. He dropped Minjai's hand. Is this true? Woo-jin asked quietly. Minjai's face crumbled. The mask fell off. She looked terrified. Woo-jin, listen, she stammered. It's a temporary liquidity issue. We can fix it once we merge. You lied, Woo-jin said. I did it for us, Minjai screamed. I saved you from Minho. You did it to save yourself, Woo-jin said. He turned to the priest. The wedding is off. You can't do this, Minjai shrieked, grabbing his arm. I have the gun, I have the testimony. Go ahead, Woo-jin said, leaning in close. Tell the police I shot him. I'll go to trial. I can afford good lawyers. But can you afford the investigation into your father's company? If I go down, the IM stock crashes and your company dissolves by Monday morning. You need me, Minjai. I don't need you. Minjai froze. He was right. Her leverage was gone. Woo-jin ripped his arm away. He turned and looked up at the balcony. Adanna, he shouted. Adanna smiled. Yes, Mr. IM. Get down here. Adanna ran for the stairs. Security tried to stop her, but Woo-jin waved them off. Let her through, he roared. She is my lawyer. Adanna burst into the ballroom. She ran down the aisle, past the shocked guests, past the crying bride. Woo-jin met her halfway. He didn't care about the cameras. He didn't care about the scandal. He grabbed her face and kissed her. It was a movie star kiss. A kiss that said, I don't care if the world burns. The reporters went wild. Flashbulbs exploded like fireworks. Woo-jin pulled back, breathless. You crashed my wedding, he grinned. You had terrible taste in decorations anyway, Adanna laughed, wiping tears from her eyes. Too much white. Let's go, Woo-jin said. Where? Anywhere but here. He took her hand and they ran. They ran back up the aisle past Minjai, who was sobbing on the floor in her lace dress. They ran out of the hotel into the bright Seoul sunlight. 2 weeks later, the office of the IM group was quiet. The purge was over. Minjai's father was under investigation. Minjai had fled to Paris. The IM group stock had taken a hit, but it was recovering. Woo-jin sat at his desk. The nameplate said Chairman IM Woo-jin. His father had passed away peacefully 3 days after the failed wedding. He had died knowing the company was safe. The door opened. Adanna walked in. She wasn't wearing a suit. She was wearing jeans and a t-shirt. She had a suitcase with her. Woo-jin stood up immediately. You're leaving? Adanna nodded. My work is done, Woo-jin. The merger is signed. The contracts are solid. David turned himself in and gave evidence against Minjai's father. I have to go back to New York. Why? Woo-jin asked, walking around the desk. Because I have a life there, Adanna said. I have a job, my family. I can move your family here, Woo-jin said. I can buy the law firm in New York and move it to Gangnam. Adanna laughed. You can't just buy everything, Woo-jin. I can try, he said. He took her hands. Don't go. I can't be a mafia wife, Woo-jin, Adanna said softly. I'm a lawyer. I fight for justice. You live in the gray. I'm changing it, Woo-jin said earnestly. I shut down the smuggling routes. I'm selling the illegal assets. I'm going legit, fully legit, just like my father wanted, but I can't do it alone. I need a moral compass. I need you. Adanna looked at him. He looked sincere, but she was scared. What if I stay and you change your mind? She asked. What if the darkness comes back? Then you fight me, Woo-jin said. You put me in check. You are the only one who can. He reached into his pocket. He didn't pull out a ring. He pulled out a contract. What is this? Adanna asked. An employment contract, Woo-jin said. General counsel for the IM group, complete autonomy, veto power over any deal you think is unethical, and a salary that is, frankly, obscene. Adanna read the terms. It was incredible. And there is one rider at the bottom, Woo-jin said. Adanna looked at the last clause. Clause 14. The general counsel agrees to have dinner with the chairman every night. No business talk allowed, just us. Adanna looked up. Her eyes were wet. You're impossible, she said. Is that a yes? Adanna took a pen from his desk. She signed the paper with a flourish. It's a yes, she said. But if you ever try to intimidate me again, I'm suing you for hostile work environment. Woo-jin laughed. He pulled her into his arms. Deal, he said. Epilogue, 6 months later. The beach in Maui was exactly as they remembered it. The sun was setting, painting the sky in purple and gold. Adanna sat on the sand, a glass of wine in her hand. She looked relaxed, happy. Woo-jin walked up from the water, shaking his wet hair. He looked different now. The weight of the world was gone from his shoulders. He sat down beside her. Thinking about work, he asked. No, Adanna said. Thinking about how I almost walked away. I wouldn't have let you, Woo-jin said. He kissed her shoulder. I know, Adanna smiled. You're stubborn. I'm determined, he corrected. He reached into his beach bag. This time he did pull out a ring, a simple gold band with a single, flawless diamond. Adanna, he said. No cameras, no press, no business deals, just you and me. He didn't kneel, he just held her hand. Will you marry me for real this time? Adanna looked at the ring. Then she looked at the man, the monster who became a king, the king who became a man. Yes, she whispered. Yes, Jin. He slid the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly. They sat there as the sun dipped below the horizon, watching the stars come out one by one. They were a long way from Seoul, a long way from the gunshots and the boardroom battles, but they had made it. They had survived the fire. And now, finally, they could just be. I love you, Woo-jin whispered into the night. I know, Adanna said, leaning her head on his shoulder. I love you too. The end. Wow, can you believe they made it? From the boardroom to the bomb blast, from the fake wedding to the real proposal. Adanna and Woo-jin are the definition of a power couple. I want to know, what was your favorite scene? 1. The moment Adanna grabbed the machine gun. 2. When Woo-jin jumped off the Namsan Tower to save her. 3. Or when Adanna crashed the wedding with the receipts. Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this roller coaster, please like this video and share it with a friend who loves a dark romance. Most importantly, subscribe to Timeless K-Love. We have new stories starting tomorrow, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. See you in the next video. Peace.